Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Precious. So in today's video, we're going to be doing Fafa's hair today. Fafa has 4C hair, very thick, very beautiful hair. However, with stitch braiding, you know it can be a hassle. So I start off with giving her a nice blowout, guys. You want to blow it out from the roots. You want to leave 0 kinks. It needs to be completely blown out. If not, you're not going to be able to achieve that nice stitch braids with her hair pattern or texture. So after you've blown her out really nicely, you just want to run through really nicely. I know some people go back in and they like flat iron or hot comb it, but it's not really necessary if you really take your time with blowing out her hair. So once I blow it out, Fafa is so beautiful. Like, oh my goodness, she's my sweetest client. I absolutely love her. I go in parting her hair in the middle, and I go in with my braiding gel. I will put a list down below of everything that I use so that you can purchase it from my Amazon storefront. So I go ahead and split it in the middle. I put my products in it, get it really nice and clean. You don't want to use too much products when you are pre-sectioning your head. Like, you want to be very, very light-handed with your product. So after doing that, I separate it into 2 ponytails, and I go ahead and start on one side. So the reason why I do this is because, well, the reason why I start on one side and in the middle is because you really want to eyeball this and see, like, okay, how big is each braid. So you want to pre-part your sections out to make sure that each braid matches each braid size, if that makes sense. I mean, if you want to go the extra miles and use a measuring tape and measure her head and make sure each braid and divide it by 6, hey, do whatever works for you. But I can pretty much eyeball it to see, like, okay, these sections match this section. And so I pre-section it off like this into 6 sections. And I do not like braiding it up once I pre-section it, because I just feel like when you braid it up, it defeats the purpose of you blow drying the hair. Like, it reverses the hair back a little bit. So I like to just use rubber bands, hair clip, or something just to tie it away. So here I am on the other side of the head, pre-sectioning it, trying to get it to, like, you see how I'm lifting it up. I'm just making sure that each box matches. Like, it's so important. And then I go ahead and I section off the last bit, and again use my rubber band and put it away. And you don't have to have a perfect part. You want to just make sure that you pre-section it and it has like the sizing matches. Once I'm done with that, now I go in with my first braid. So in the past I would start in the middle, but now because I pre-sectioned the entire head, I can go ahead and start on the edge because I know that I'm good, because I've already marked out my base. Everything is nice and marked out for me. So after that, I go ahead and apply my edge gel to the base of the hair only. You want to put just at the base. I see people like using too much products. You don't need all that products. You want to use as little products as possible, but make sure you're also using enough product. And you want to comb it through the hair. Again, this is only easy if you did the pre-work of blowing the hair out very well. And then you go ahead and part it like you just saw me did, and you put the product in between the parts, because you need the base to be pretty much saturated with the hair product. Once you do that, you section off your little bit in the front like this, and you braid it like 1, 2, 3, I think about 4 times. You can go back and count how many times I did it. And then you start stitching and you add in your first piece of hair. Now let me say this, I don't always add in my first piece of hair first. Sometimes I like braid a little bit with the client's hair before adding in hair. It just depends on like how thick the client's hair was. But with Fafa's hair, I wanted to add in like 1 piece of hair first, just to start it off. For whatever reason, I'm not really sure. Like, I just kind of, you have to feel, as a braider, some things you just have to feel out. So you see I added my second piece of braid after braiding a little bit. I just pretty much like feel it out. Maybe like when I feel like the braid is like feeling a little thinner, I'll go ahead and add in hair. And you don't want to add in too much hair as well, because you don't want the braids to be all dookie looking. You know, you want it to be like nice and flowy. Okay, so I'm gonna just let you guys watch what I'm doing and just follow along and see what I'm doing here. And I'll be back later on to explain if I need to explain anything else. Alright guys, okay, so here you want to start adding in a lot more hair at the end. So you see how I added one? I'm going to go ahead and add another piece, because at the end you don't want the braid to start getting skinny and looking like, I don't even know the word that I'm looking for to describe it, but this part you want the ends to be nice and thick. Even if the person has thicker hair, you still want to add in a bit of hair at the ends so that it can just fill out and like flow out, you know. And also be mindful of how much hair you're adding. Make sure you don't add too much hair. But you see how her braid literally goes from like that little size to a bigger size. I mean, this is the perfect stitch braid, literally. So and also we're gonna be putting her hair in a bun. So for that reason, I didn't extend it too much or add too much hair. But if you were leaving her hair to hang, you would add a lot more hair than what I did. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys watch me do this again. This time I'm not gonna say anything because I just really want you to watch and learn and see exactly what I'm doing without like my distraction. Okay. Okay guys, so I would not be a good person if I did not come back to tell you what I'm about to tell you now. When you're doing this part right here, you see this part right here? Please do not grip it too tight. This is why a lot of people edges go missing after getting stitch braids. A lot of braiders are doing it way too tight. When you braid it, it does not need to be that tight. That first little braid doesn't need to be that tight because you're still going to be pulling it into that braid going back. So you want to make that braid a bit looser. Sometimes what I even do is once I've attached that little part to the rest of the braid, I'll take my comb and I'll kind of like tug at it a little bit, just kind of like pull it out a little bit so it's loose. Because honestly, yeah, having the freshest looking, nicest pulling braids is great, but I don't want, like, I prefer my clients to have edges after they've enjoyed their style. So I make sure that I don't do that front piece too tight. Another thing I wanted to mention is you either need to use a comb or a pinky nail to do your stitching for it to be clean and crisp, like how you see right here. So choose whatever method works for you. Maybe look at other videos on YouTube on each method and then decide on which one works for you. I can't really tell you which method to use because everybody works differently. I've tried the comb method and I did not like it, and then I did the finger method and I love it. So just try to play with both and see like which method works for you. All right, that is it. And this is the finished look, guys. I dipped it in hot water, took a rubber band, pulled it back just like this. And then you see how I'm loosening up the bottom nape part because I don't want her to have bumps or for her hair to pull out or anything. Like, I'm very like careful with my client's hair. So yeah, you want to pull that nape out, make sure it's not pulling, and then you put it in a bun. And then after putting it in a bun, I still go back again and pull all that nape braid out because again, I do not want any bumps or any hair loss in that area. And that will pretty much be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you learned something. Leave me a comment down below on if you did learn something and if you would like for me to keep creating videos like this. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you.